Hello, and welcome back to the Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Teagan Elliott, and today we are joined by me, myself, and I. Um, uh, this is okay. I'm like kind of nervous, which is weird because now I feel like I kind of am getting how my guests feel when they come on because they tend to be a little nervous sometimes. Um, I haven't been on like a solo episode, I guess, in a little bit, so. Yeah, I'm here today alone just because this is to be okay. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very like last minute episode, you guys. It's been a long week. I've had a lot going on with school currently. The next 3 weeks are gonna be very, very busy, so the episodes are gonna be a little chaotic this week. But we're just gonna roll with the punches here. So today I was just gonna talk to you guys about a couple topics. It's probably gonna be a pretty like short episode, and again I say short, but we all know I love to talk. I can ramble, I can chat shit, for a while. So my aim is to not do that. I'm not gonna ramble too long, I hope. So getting right into it. Let's first talk about Pancake Day because it was Pancake Day yesterday. Because I'm filming this the night before the episode drops, you guys. So Tuesday, February 21st, was Pancake Day here in England. Now, I know that in the US, we do not celebrate Pancake Day. So basically, for everyone that doesn't know what Pancake Day is, I thought I'd explain because I really don't know why the Brits celebrate Pancake Day. It's not like in the US where we say like, oh my god, like it's National Pancake Day, everyone go to IHOP and get a free pancake. You know what I mean? Like, or oh, it's National Bubble Tea Day, so all boba places are gonna give half off on your boba. Like, it's not like that. Basically, Pancake Day, it's the day before Lent. So like the beginning of Lent, it's like a Christian thing. So basically, Lent is where Jesus basically fasted, and like he didn't eat or drink water or anything for 40 days. So the day before Lent is, in America, you might have heard it being called like Fat Tuesday. I know we have like Mardi Gras and stuff like that, like all that kind of celebrates and encompasses, um, Shrove Tuesday. Fat Tuesday. It's the day before Lent starts. Basically, you eat all the junk food in your cupboard because the idea of Lent is that you're giving up all of like the sugary things, alcohol, like you give up something. So what a lot of people typically do, and at least in my family, like even I know like even people that aren't religious, I know that still choose to give up something as just like a way, I guess, to whether it's like do like a cleanse of sorts or trying to better your life in a way, and this is kind of like a fun way to kickstart it. I know a lot of people that have chosen to give up alcohol for Lent, and I know that there will be exceptions within that. Um, I really haven't chosen anything. I know some people on TikTok are seeing that for Lent, people are going to give up saying the word slay, apparently. Um, I feel like slay is such a part of my vocabulary. It really needs to um, exeunt, I guess you could say. It's got to go. But Pancake Day. So for everyone in America that doesn't know, basically, like I've already said, it's the day before Lent begins, so it's on Shrove Tuesday, which marks your period of abstinence of whatever you choose it to be. But normally it's associated with clearing out like your cupboards of like sugary foods. But apparently, according to Standard Magazine, um, like UK Standard, I think it's called. Let me double check. Evening Standard. There you go. It's basically just it says Shrove Tuesday, like Lent, is associated with clearing your cupboards of goods such as sugar, fats, and eggs. So pancakes, it says were traditionally eaten on this day to use up such foods before the 40-day fasting season of Lent began. Some believe the four ingredients used in pancakes may actually represent the four pillars of the Christian faith: flour as the staff of life, eggs as creation, milk as purity, and salt as wholesomeness. We love some wholesome salt? Question mark. So basically, yeah. So the day is important in the Christian tradition, but Pancake Day is celebrated by, as far as I'm aware, everyone I know honestly celebrated Pancake Day in England. And even if you are outside the faith, people still like celebrate. It's like celebrating Christmas, even if you're not a Christian. You know what I mean? People still celebrate. People have a good reason to celebrate or make pancakes. So, what I found was interesting is in the grocery stores. I mean, like, it's such a big thing. Like, that everyone in the country was either eating pancakes for breakfast, lunch, or dinner that day. I know that my housemate and I, we made pancake batter for dinner. And in the grocery stores, they had like little sections where everything was like pre-assembled of like they had pancake batter ready like for you to buy, along with the toppings. Now, toppings, I feel like in the U.S. when we think pancakes, we think like maple syrup, maybe butter, whipped cream, fruit. That's kind of what I see. It's typical to the movies, to be honest. Maybe chocolate syrup. I think I've seen that. But what I found people here did is so the pancakes aren't like the thick like American pancakes because they call those here American pancakes. Shocker. They're more kind of like crepes or crepes. Like they're thinner. Um, you can roll them up, kind of like a crepe essentially. But yeah, the toppings typically were like fruit. People also did ice cream, Nutella, peanut butter. My favorite though, 100% was doing lemon juice and castor sugar, just like white sugar. So good, so clean, so crisp. I love lemon. I'm going through like a lemon kick right now, which is going to bring me to my next point in a minute. But yeah, overall, I know a bunch of people were also flipping the pancake seemed to be a thing. I think it's like you're supposed to flip the pancake. I didn't flip the pancake. I was just trying to flip it without it falling apart and breaking. I think I did something wrong with my pancakes. Um, but yeah, so happy belated Pancake Day, everybody. And if you're in America and you miss Pancake Day, you can still celebrate late. I don't see why not. And try making like the British pancake. You could just look up a recipe. Um, yeah, it's I honestly prefer them to the American pancakes, but that's because to me, I don't really like American pancakes to begin with, so I'm kind of like already a biased opinion in that regard. Um, yeah. Okay, so I was gonna go into why I needed to have vitamin C. Let me like settle in here. Basically, I've been really making sure to have a lot of my vitamin C. I was super prepared to actually like be healthy and everything because I know that I have a lot coming up in the next few weeks. I'm super, super busy. Basically, all the second year film students were filming people's films like back to back to back to back to back. So, you're busy every single day for 3 weeks, no going out. Like you are helping people out on their films, and they're helping you as well. So like it's you have to help people out that help you. Scratch my back, all scratch yours. That's kind of energy that comes to this. Okay, so I knew this was happening. I've been taking my vitamin C. I even started taking zinc because it's like helps with your immune support, right? But they do say to make sure you have it with food. And I was like, I'll be fine. Like what? Like this little zinc. Like it's not gonna hurt me because it says on the back it might make you feel nauseous, and I actually never thought I would feel the nausea I did in fact feel before going to my practical. It was really rough. I did think I was gonna throw up, even though I hadn't eaten anything. Yeah, so don't take zinc on an empty stomach. PSA. Follow the directions on the package. They're not lying to you. Um, but yeah, anyway, so I was very prepared to be healthy, like for my immune system's sake, and I still got sick. There's something going around. I know some people got hit harder than others, but I'm thinking part of the reason maybe I didn't get hit hard was because I was so prepared, like with my immune system. So maybe the zinc nausea was actually useful in the long run. Well, we're just gonna go with that. But so I got sick. I felt feverish all day Sunday, chills. I drank 8 bottles of water, like for people that are looking at me on YouTube, you can see this cute little purple water bottle. I had 8 of these. I had 2 cups of black tea with lemon, vitamin C, and honey. I had chicken soup that I'd made. It was like the Greek lemon chicken soup. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I made that like a couple months ago, but I froze a bunch of it, like for if I got sick. Lo and behold, I'm a genius. That like we are already aware of this. And I had that. So like I had so many liquids trying to just flush this out of my system. And then yeah, then I felt really dizzy on Monday and part of Tuesday. So I don't know what's going on. But other than that, I feel fine. So we're gonna hope for the best. But maybe it was brought on by stress. So I'm gonna get into a little story of something that happened to me last week that made me really, really stressed. So and I'll start it on a Wednesday salvos, as it normally does. Let's just say I wasn't super aware of my surroundings and my belongings. And may have lost my phone twice. First, I lost it in Salvo's, and the bouncers kindly returned it to me. I was ever so thankful and grateful. And then about 20 minutes later, got off the bus and lost it again, which was great. So my housemates were calling it frantically, super, super helpful. And the bus driver basically said, like, you can get it at the location. Like, I'll bring it to the office. You can get it tomorrow. I went, great. Cheers. So I got up, went to town, like, hungover. Shout out James, he came with me. We ran my errands. We went to this place, and so first it's an office building, but it's like high security. You have to like buzz in, and I was like, okay, like this is already kind of weird, especially for York because you don't really see. You never have to be buzzed in anywhere. I don't know. It was weird. So I get buzzed in. They let me go up to the first floor. So I walk upstairs with James. We're going up, and then we go to the little officey thing, and the door's like locked. We can't even go into the bus's office. We just wait outside for like 10 minutes. No one's coming out. We stop one of the bus drivers. And we're like, hey, is someone coming out like to give me my phone, this and that? And I had also looked at this is very important to the story. On my laptop, I have Find My iPhone, and they told me that my phone was at this place. I was like, brilliant, beautiful. The bus driver man did not lie to me. Slay. Not slay. Happy Lent, everyone. We're gonna start saying fetch. Fetch. Great. Bus driver man had my phone. So then I went, and well, so I was sitting up there waiting. The next guy comes out, and then I asked him as well, and he's like, "Oh no, like someone's definitely coming." I went, "Okay, cool." A guy comes out. He goes, "Alrighty, what did you lose?" I said, "I lost my phone. Blah blah blah. Purple iPhone. This and that." He goes, "Cool. When did you lose it?" And I said, "Last night." And he goes, "Oh, well then it definitely won't be here." And I went, I mean, like, respectfully, like, I know it's here. Like, I have my Find My iPhone on my laptop. Like, it says it's here. He went, "No, it isn't." I'm just kind of like staring at this man dumbfounded, and I'm looking at James, and I'm looking at the man, and I'm like, but I'm really confused because it is, question mark? And he goes, "No, like, if you lost it last night, it's going to be at our other office on James Street." And I'm like, it's just kind of staring at him dumbfoundedly and hungover, and like, I just wanted to know that also because my ID and my debit card were in my phone case. So this was also stressing me out in the back of my mind. Like, if I lose my ID, that's going to be harder to get as well because it's American. And then I'm going to have to, like, figure out how I would get it back internationally. What I might have to carry my passport to the club now. Like, my mind was going a mile a minute, okay? So then I'm, like, stressing. And then he goes, "Oh, like, James Street." And I went, "Okay." And he's like, do you know where James Street is?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Oh, do you know York?" And I'm like, I turned to this man, I turned to James, I turned back to the man, I'm like, "Yeah, we actually live in York, yeah?" And he's like, "Okay, well, it's over by location XYZ." And I was like, "Okay, great." And then James and I were leaving, and he's like, "So are we going to go to James Street?" I'm like, "No, because I know it's here. Like, I know it." I was basically fuming because Find My iPhone, it wasn't lying to me. Like, Find My iPhone wasn't playing games like this man was, so I was fuming. So yeah, so then I went to go get brunch. We had a delicious sandwich and smoothie. So go me. And then yeah, so basically the guy had also said to me, he said, "If you come back tomorrow, it'll be here tomorrow morning." And I was like, "Cheers, mate." So then after my I had a workshop then that next morning, so I basically then was able to vent to all of my professors, all of my peers. They all were caught up with my life's saga. They all were really wishing me the best. So then I did email some of the professors to let them know once I did in fact find my phone, ID, and debit card intact. They were all very happy for me. Yay. Slay. Nope. Fetch. If I was drinking, maybe I'd make this like a drinking game. Every time Teagan says slay during Lent, drink. That is my drinking game for you all. If you use this as a drinking game, which I doubt many of you do. So yeah, that's my little phone story. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. Also, I went to this event at the uni where they had the previous head of Warner Brothers UK come in. Let me check his name real quick. Okay, his name was Josh Berger. And he was like the former head of Warner Brothers UK, and he was like one of like the key drivers of the Harry Potter franchise. Now this is where things got really interesting. So it was at this I wouldn't say it was like a master class, I guess you could say. He basically just had a talk, and one of the professors was asking him questions. Um and he was telling us about current stuff going on with Harry Potter and HBO Max, and they basically want to create like new shows, and they had new ideas. So he kind of used our cohort, I guess, as an example of, or a way for him to ask us questions about Harry Potter and about things we were interested in. So he just asked us. He said, "Is there anything you do want to see created in the Harry Potter universe?" And people said that they wanted to see, more about the Marauders, or they wanted to know more about the history of Hogwarts and how it was founded. All super like interesting points people had. And then he did say something that no one said, but that Warner's was trying to create, is a reboot TV show of Harry Potter where you follow like Ron, Harry, Hermione, and it'd be like a reboot essentially. And he's like, "Is this something people think is a good idea?" And no one really said anything for a minute, and then people started like raising their hands, including myself. And like my point was, I don't think there should be a reboot of Harry Potter, because I think there are too many reboots of things nowadays. Harry Potter also wasn't that long ago, and I feel like the current generation still has such strong ties to the films that there's no need. It isn't like this is an old film series that's been forgotten about, or that's been neglected, or needs love. Like, I do think that, yes, it would be profitable if they made this show. And someone had a point. They said you'd get a lot of views on the first episode, as like people would hate watch it, and then no one else would watch it ever again. Obviously, yeah, you still have fans that would like watch the show anyway, good or bad. But I don't think it's something that needs to be recreated. It's not that old. I think it's too early. I think there are other stories within the universe that can be explored. I think there's so many characters, so many new characters you can create that not need to be explored, but that could be explored if the Harry Potter universe wanted to be expanded upon. Someone else made not a valid, but like a good point, which is still valid, saying that if you were to create a show about Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron again, that don't make it about them and their perspective, but make it, if you're going to do it during the times that Harry, Ron, and Hermione were all in school, and basically those 7 years in Hogwarts, then do it from the perspective of another character. Maybe if you were to do the TV show, I don't know if you were to do the whole series, but from like Neville's perspective, even though I think if you did a new character's perspective, if you were still really clinging on to like, no, we have to do it during those 7 years at Hogwarts, then yeah, I would definitely do a different character's perspective. Don't make it all about Harry, because his story has been told. That is my opinion on the situation. I thought this was super interesting though, and I felt like as a cohort, we kind of were giving feedback it might be then impacting the industry. I thought that was really, really cool. Because at the end of the day, like us film students, like we are going to be the future of the industry. We're going to be doing stuff. So that's really exciting. Okay, I did also want to talk a little bit about the idea of solo travel, but wait, not just like solo travel in general. The idea that, so I had a conversation with my friend Jaya, shout out Jaya, and also then I had the same conversation with my friend Rabia about if people didn't have social media, if social media didn't exist, do we think people would still want to solo travel or travel in general? I think there's a big group of people in the world that travel purely so they can post it on social media. And this was just a really interesting conversation and something really interesting to think about. I mean, when I went to Tromsø to go see the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, like to go see it, there were two girls on like our little bus trip to go see the lights that were in these cute outfits. Don't get me wrong, they were, I was gonna say slaying, but like fetching, that doesn't work either. They were giving great energy and they looked cute. How about that? and they were there for the photo op, and I felt like you're not here to see the lights. And it was so annoying though, especially because seeing the lights, this is a once in a lifetime trip, honestly. Unless like you make it a big point in your life to go see it more than once, like it is a big deal trip. And these girls were taking pictures with their flash constantly. And I'm like, for your eyes to adjust to the darkness to be able to see the lights better, you can't be like seeing lights and then no lights constantly and like making your eyes adjust because it'll never fully adjust to the darkness. Like your eyes need to sit in the darkness for a while to be able to fully see it and to fully adjust. So then I was getting frustrated with these girls because I was like, just turn off your fucking phone. Turn it off. I was really getting frustrated because we also had paid a lot of money to be here, and it was like you are here for the photo op. You are not here because you want to be here. That being said, though, I am also not going to put myself on a pedestal to say I don't take pictures when I travel, like not for social media. You know what I mean? Like I do that as well. Like when I travel, I take pictures and I'm like, this is gonna look really cute on my like photography account, or this is gonna look really cute on my Instagram slide thing. However, when I travel, I don't travel for the social media pictures, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm the only one, I'm so special. But I feel like if you find yourself traveling, or if you find yourself on a trip and then in a moment you're like, oh, I'm going to take this because I need that perfect Instagram shot, kind of take a moment and be like, why am I here? What am I doing? Am I really enjoying this experience? And I have to ask myself this too sometimes. Like if no, I find it when I hike, which you would think it'd be the opposite. But when I like, because you're in nature and you're really a part of something bigger than yourself. You're trying to connect with the earth. You would think that then that's not the time that you're trying to think social media, right? But that if I ever find myself feeling it most, it's then. It's not in a coffee shop. It's not when I'm in a city. It's like when I'm hiking. Then I'm like, oh, I want to take a cute picture like to put on the Snapchat story with my friend while we're hiking. And I'm like, that's the opposite setting you'd think. But that's where I find myself, and I'm like, Teagan, like put the phone away. Put it away. Look at the earth. It is beautiful. So that was just an interesting thought I had, and I wanted to just bring to your guys' minds. Would you travel if social media did not exist? Fun question to think about. Yeah, other than that, life has just been kind of crazy. I know I've said that a lot. But I mean, while I was sick, hey, I watched Perfect Match. Have any of you guys seen that? It's this new show on Netflix. It's a reality show, so if you don't like reality, like this isn't gonna be your thing. I started watching it because it had a bunch of people from shows that I've already seen, like Too Hot to Handle, The Circle, people from like The Mole, which I haven't seen, and Love Is Blind, which I hadn't seen. And I thought it was cool because then they got all like the hot single people from those shows to come on to this show and then see if they can find their perfect match. And it's basically a way to see characters that you're already familiar with. So that's what I liked about it. But things got really dramatic. So while I was sick, I just binged the first 4 episodes of that. And now I think the first 4 episodes are out for this week as well. So I'm going to be checking those out. Other than that, maybe I'll start doing like a little film student check. Like, what has Teagan watched recently? It is better than that, I promise. I also watched The Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson the other day. That was quite good. I was obsessed with the coloring and the set design. I think everyone lauds that when they watch this film. I mean, how can you not? It's just so masterfully done, and I want to know how long did that take to make those sets. It's insane to me. I want to know how Wes Anderson's mind works. Like, it's insane. I think people should watch it. Just like, if you really are in that kind of mood, like sometimes like I'm in a mood to watch a film for the music, or sometimes in a mood to watch a film for the cinematography, or for the color, or for the set, or for the costume, or for the storyline. Hopefully storyline's not all of those, you know what I mean? But no, definitely I recommend. Yeah, it is worth the hype. And then I also watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which I did not realize that this was such like a well-loved movie. So when I was looking up like rom-coms to watch, and this was one of them, and I was like, oh, cool. I was expecting like another like mid-tier rom-com. Um, I loved it. And I also didn't know it was based in Seattle. So this threw me for the biggest loop. I was like, oh my God, Seattle. What the heck? Why is it based here? And it having like two sisters that are very different. Of course, it reminded me of like me with my sisters. So like it's really relatable if you also like have few of sisters. So cute in Seattle. And of course, you could tell it was filmed during the summer. It's like beautiful weather, no rain. I'm like, yeah, okay, okay. And then there's the scene where they're playing paintball in a park. Um, and it's Gasworks Park for anyone that like is from Seattle. It's Gasworks Park. And I'm like, oh my God, like there are no like scary drug addicts scaring like running after you through the park, like because it was filmed in what, the 90s question mark, early 2000s, I think 90s. I'm gonna look it up here. Look at me, I'm actually gonna get info for you guys. How to lose a guy in 10 days. 2003. Look at me go. It was how to lose a guy. Right? Am I going crazy? You guys, I'm really stupid. It's not How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's 10 Things I Hate About You. As you can tell, I really had never heard of this movie before I watched it. So yeah, there you have it. It's called 10 Things I Hate About You, not How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's a different film. With Matthew McConaughey that I have seen, yes. But I had never seen 10 Things I Hate About You. Did I start with that title and did I interchange it? I don't know. Wow, that was really embarrassing. But you know what? I'm not gonna cut that. I'm gonna keep that to show that even amazing people, like the coolest people, like me, can make mistakes. Yeah. On that wonderful note, I am going to edit this. I'm going to upload it to everything, schedule it for when now you all are listening to it. I'm sure right promptly at drop at 9 a.m. GMT at a Thursday. And I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna go to bed, yeah. So happy Thursday, everyone. And I hope you'll have a great weekend. I know it's gonna be my last weekend of freedom before filming. But filming's gonna be fun. It isn't like prison, okay? Like, yeah, I'm gonna have a good time, but it is gonna just be a busy 3 weeks. So we will see how episodes go for the next 3 weeks. So just stay tuned on that. But then it'll be spring break, and I'm excited. So yeah. Okay. Bye everyone. Happy Thursday.